announcing an online event about veganism.
This Tuesday evening, the 23rd of March 2021, an online event will take place which will consider the possible future role of veganism in saving the world from catastrophic climate change. Animal agriculture, in particular factory farming, is having a devastating effect on climate change, deforestation, water pollution, and the depletion of natural resources, and it's polluting the air with microorganisms and toxic chemicals from feces and feed. It's also an inefficient way to feed people. In Britain, more than 70% of agricultural land is used for rearing animals, but this provides only a tiny amount of our nutrient intake. Using the same amount of land to grow crops for human consumption instead of for animal feed and grazing animals could feed up to 10 times as many people. And in some countries, crops are grown to feed animals while local people suffer and die from hunger and disease due to lack of food. Animal agriculture is also one of the main contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. The meat and animal products industry accounts for 32,000 million tonnes of CO2 per year. Regardless of production methods, plants have the lowest carbon footprint of all sources of protein. Producing 100 grams of protein from peas emits 0.4 of a kilogram of carbon dioxide equivalent, while production of the same amount of protein from beef emits nearly 90 times that. Production of just over 2 pounds of beef causes more greenhouse gas emissions than driving a car for 3 hours, and one dairy cow emits 19.3 pounds of volatile organic compounds per year. So vegan diets have massive potential for reducing greenhouse gas emissions. 2 years ago, The Lancet reported that a shift to plant-based diets could reduce food-related emissions of greenhouse gases by up to 80% within the next 30 years, and that if meat eaters around the world were to go vegan, CO2 food-related emissions would be reduced by 70%. Joseph Poore, University of Oxford, lead author of a study published in the journal Science last year, says a vegan diet is probably the single biggest way to reduce your impact on planet Earth. The number of vegans in the UK quadrupled from 150,000 in 2014 to 600,000 5 years later, and it's set to grow even faster following on from the pandemic lockdowns. Meanwhile, even many non-vegans are now choosing to eat less meat and dairy because of concerns about climate change and the environment, quite aside from ethical issues over animal welfare. Should we all go vegan then to save the world? This is the subject of the online debate next Tuesday, hosted by Climate Action Ilkley. Climate Action Ilkley was created to influence Ilkley's neighbourhood plan, help residents and businesses reduce the climate impact of their homes and workplaces, travel and purchasing choices, improve food waste regimes, promote renewable energy projects, and coordinate with initiatives by other groups on water, wildlife, biodiversity, heritage, and social inclusion. Last year, it applied for charitable status with the Charity Commission, and successfully became a charitable incorporated organisation with the charity number 1189801. The Constitution, which is based on the association model, gives voting rights to members as well as trustees. The Climate Action Ilkley, or CAI, website reminds us of 5 facts. First, the climate is warming. Secondly, we humans are the cause. Next, there is firm scientific evidence of this. And then, that the prognosis is bad. But finally, it can be fixed, which is where veganism might come in. During Tuesday evening's online event, 2 of Climate Action Ilkley's trustees will offer contrasting views on whether we should all go vegan to save the world, looking beyond the carbon footprint of meat and plant-based diets to also consider other issues such as what the UK's landscape and farming might look like if we all went vegan, the health and ethical implications of eating meat and dairy, and a personal take on life after cheese. Facts and figures about veganism will be provided, and attendees will be able to participate, airing their views and asking questions. Time will also be allocated for discussion on what future actions Climate Action Ilkley might consider in this area. Speaking in favour of veganism will be Mike Daw, Secretary of CAI and a trustee. He's been active in the environmental movement for over 30 years and has been vegan for around 5 years. He says eating meat and dairy is not only bad for the planet, it's bad for our health too. It could even increase the likelihood of future pandemics because of how viruses jump from wildlife to livestock to humans. But another trustee, Steve Peel, whose career was in agricultural research and consultancy, specialising in the use of grassland for dairy and meat production and the impact of farming on the environment, soil, water, air and biodiversity, doesn't believe we all need to go vegan and will argue that livestock are an important part of mixed farming systems, utilising crop residues and byproducts, improving the soil and increasing the sustainability of arable and vegetable crops, as well as biodiversity. However, although he's a moderate omnivore himself, he says that we do need to cut down significantly on meat and dairy consumption. Chairing the event will be Kath Stewart, CAI's membership secretary. Kath says, "We hope to provide plenty of food for thought. I went vegan about 1 year ago, and sure, it's a big change, it's not easy. I hope this event will provide pointers to help people make the switch and enjoy what could be a vegan foodie adventure, as well as a healthier, greener lifestyle." The event will take place at 7:30 p.m. GMT on March the 23rd, and you can register at the link on screen, or by visiting Climate Action Ilkley's website. And for a more applied approach to this topic, you might want to check out a lunchtime webinar being organised 2 days later by the Irish Landscape Institute and the Landscape Institute Northern Ireland, entitled Agriculture and Climate Change. The speakers will be Diane Stevenson and James Greer from the Department for Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs, and Dale Cramond from the Irish Department of Agriculture, Food and the Marine. The webinar will take place on the 25th of March at 1 p.m. GMT, and you can register at the link on screen.